Before we actually get started with today's video, I just quickly want to take the opportunity to talk to you guys about the OneFootball app, because for me, this is the perfect opportunity for you guys to get the complete football package all in one place on your device at literally zero cost. Nothing. It literally costs you guys nothing, and you really do get a bit of everything. I'm talking player news, team news, player statistics, transfer news, league tables, upcoming fixtures, live games which you can watch for free from the Serie A every single weekend. There really is a bit of everything for everyone in the world of football. So make sure to check out the OneFootball app either using the link in the description down below or by scanning the QR code on screen now. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel, where today we are back with FA Cup coverage and Manchester United's 3-0 win over Reading at Old Trafford. Not 3-0, sorry, 3-1. Bit of an error. 3-1. Manchester United's 3-1 win over Reading. I was kind of disregarding that Reading goal from my brain because I was actually really disappointed by it. But whilst I was disappointed by the fact that Manchester United conceded, I was quite impressed by the rest of the performance, especially for the first 60-65 minutes. I thought United looked really good in this game, really in control. I thought Erik ten Hag set the side up well. There were some big performances from some real key players. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So in terms of from a tactical point of view, Manchester United of course had a lot of the ball in this game. Reading had no interest in putting any pressure anywhere near the ball. This is probably the most defensive side that United will face this season, because Reading very quickly sat all the way off with João and Andy Carroll, the two strikers, sitting right off like this, and basically they just created a bank of a 5-5 almost at times, with, like I said, Carroll and João playing really narrow. Ten Hag knew that this was going to be the approach, so decided to build possession with only a back three rather than a back four or something like that. So we saw Maguire shifting to one side, Lindelof in the middle, Malacia on the other side, Casemiro sitting just in front of them initially, creating a 3-1 shape, meaning that Eriksen and Wan-Bissaka could both push much further forward. And this was the shape that Manchester United started the game with, and basically the aim is to try and get players, as I've been saying a lot recently, in the channels of the defence. So if the opposition are defending with a back five, you try and go down the outside channel, this inside channel here, then this next channel, and like you can see, we've got a player in each channel. So even when the opposition are defending with a back five, Manchester United is still able to outnumber them, and that is a very, tactically that's very impressive, because it's something that only the top teams can do. If you asked Manchester United to try and do this last season, they wouldn't have been able to do it. So this is a sign of how far that Manchester United have come on, that they feel happy playing in a 3-1-6 shape. It's a shape that we've seen developing from a few top teams at times during this season. It really is a great shape for trying to break teams down, simply because you get so many numbers forward. However, it still wasn't easy for United to break them down, because, again, just look at the numbers here. When you have 3 centre-backs, 3 central midfielders and 2 strikers, that is 8 players playing within the width of the box and very close to each other. It's very difficult to play through that. And obviously the first half was a little bit disappointing. I thought there were some good patterns, which we'll come on to. The score was disappointing, but I think it's important that United fans don't get too caught up in that. Most teams in the world, people will say, oh, it's only Reading. Most teams in the world will struggle to break down a defence which is this deep. And it's probably a compliment to United that Reading defended this deep. Again, last season, I think teams were a bit braver in the way that they played against United, because they knew that they could get at them. Paul Ince said it in his interview after the game, actually, that last year they would have felt that they could have got at this United team, but that isn't the case anymore. So, whilst it's frustrating for United to try and play through it, it is actually a compliment to how good they have been. But whilst it was difficult at times for United, I still enjoyed some of the rotations, particularly down this right-hand side. I thought that Antony and Wan-Bissaka were brilliant, really. Before we continue with the analysis, I want to talk to you guys about JerseyFIFA.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that's the latest home shirts, the latest away shirts, tracksuits, or even retro kits, Jersey FIFA has a bit of everything. There really is something for everyone, so if you are interested, then make sure to use the link in the description down below and head to JerseyFIFA.com. Wan-Bissaka, who is not really a player that's been asked to play too much of an inverted role like in previous seasons in his career, was doing an excellent job of making runs in here, dragging McIntyre to make sure that Antony could get 1 versus 1 up against his man. And on Antony, I thought he had a really good game. I think this is maybe his best performance in a Manchester United shirt, perhaps the most complete. It maybe didn't quite have the end product that we still need from him. However, I thought that his dribbling, his aggressive nature on the ball was much better in this game. What I mean by aggressive nature on the ball is, that doesn't mean he's going about and kicking people. It means that he's getting the ball, and the first thing he looks to do is get at a defender. It's very front-footed, and that was much more what we saw in this game. And I actually really enjoyed his performance, and that's 2 games in a row now where he's looked really good. And a lot of that comes because of Wan-Bissaka making these runs, dragging other players away. It allows Antony to go 1 versus 1. If not, when you play up against the back 5, if Wan-Bissaka plays deeper, then McIntyre can come across and make it a bit of a 2 versus 1, or Hendrick can come across and do the same. So these runs from Wan-Bissaka, whilst he may not actually get the ball in these situations, are really important. Also, these runs are just going to take the distraction of Rahman for a split second, which then allows Antony to come inside, from where we saw some really nice link play in this area, with Bruno Fernandes playing slightly more to the right side than what we typically see from him. There were some really good third-man runs either from Antony or Wan-Bissaka in and around the penalty area, and United got into these positions on a few times, or on a few occasions I should say. Let me try that again. United got into these situations on a few occasions during the first half, where they were then looking to cut the ball back from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and the final product wasn't quite there, but the pattern of getting into that position was really, really good. United also looked really good on the other side as well, and that's probably no surprise with Marcus Rashford in his current form. Again, I thought he was brilliant. The way he was getting standing up defenders and then taking them on, going past them, was really good, and we know what he's like at the moment. He turns defenders inside out, gives them a real torrid time of it, basically, and again, he was absolutely brilliant. I think he was robbed of the record-breaking goal. The rule doesn't make sense because Liverpool scored a goal very similar in the FA Cup the other week where the defender flicks it on, intentionally tries to play it, so they decide that Salah's onside, but in this game they decide their course is offside even though it's the same situation. I'm not sure which one was right, but some consistency would be nice. I'm not saying, oh, Liverpool shouldn't have been given their goal or Rashford definitely should have been given this goal, but they're either both goals or neither of them are, so consistency would be nice, but this is officiating in England, so it's unlikely. And it made it a bit frustrating for Manchester United in the first half because Reading was so deep, and what we saw in the second half was United going even more attacking. I was speaking about in the first half this 3-1 shape. In the second half we saw Maguire and Lindelof playing even higher, Malacia now given the licence to go forward, and it was basically a 2-1 shape with Lindelof and Maguire deep, Casemiro just in front of them, but then Casemiro would venture off much, much higher. And was basically often playing almost in a number 10 position. And Manchester United had a line of creative players here in Fernandes, Casemiro and Eriksen. Weghorst to target up top with Rashford and Antony both coming inside. The fullbacks getting forward. This was super attacking from Manchester United and actually really brave of Erik ten Hag to put this many players forward. But what I will say is it's a bit poor from Reading, if you ask me. Now, I'm aware this Manchester United team are very good. You've got to show them a lot of respect and get players behind the ball. But the problem that I have with this Reading performance is by being this defensive, I can't put the players close enough to each other because it'll look like sloppy as a presentation. However, they were so compact. Like, there was a situation just before half time where Carroll makes a clearance here in open play. That's just striker doing that. And it's all well and good getting them behind the ball, but from Reading's point of view, what's the game plan? Because when they win the ball back, they just lump it forward, and there was no one there to challenge it. You bring Carroll in for his height, I assume, to try and win these duels, but when he's defending in his 6-yard box, he can't win a duels near the halfway line. Which meant that United just kept coming, and United are then pushing all these men forward. I thought Maguire's performance on the ball was really good, progressing the ball nicely, and when you give quality players this amount of possession, and a lot of them have got a lot of confidence at the moment, they are going to eventually create chances. They are going to get those little pockets where they pop a ball around the corner and do little nice bits of footwork in these areas, and it is what we saw. And again, it was Antony playing brilliantly, coming in off the right-hand side, Wan-Bissaka making the extra run to drag defenders, and then Casemiro makes a run in behind. The disguise on the pass from Antony was really nice, and Casemiro finished brilliantly. The fact that Casemiro is so confident in that situation to just lift it over the goalkeeper is really impressive. His performance in general, really impressive. I don't know what United done to deserve this guy. I don't know how a team can be so bad last season and bring someone in like Casemiro, maybe the best holding midfielder in history. He was absolutely brilliant again in this game. He just makes it look so easy. Football looks like a really easy sport to him, and it's just great to see. He clearly enjoys being at the club. You can see the smile on his face constantly, basically. He has been absolutely brilliant this season, and Ten Hag is really building around this guy. How long will Casemiro be at the club? I don't know, but while he's here, Ten Hag is going to build around him because he is such a crucial player. He's just so good at football. And obviously he got another goal from further out as well, a lovely, wonderful finish. Should the keeper do a little bit better? Possibly. But let's not be too critical of him. I think maybe he can do better, but it is a good goal from Casemiro. And yeah, United deserve their win. There's not really tons that I can go into in this video, because it's not like Reading set up super well tactically and Ten Hag had to figure it out, so we saw certain different patterns developing. That wasn't really the case. This was attack versus defence, Manchester United having a lot of the ball, and it's about getting your rotation right in that situation. It's about when Weghorst is dropping, is Rashford going past him? Things like that I thought United done that really well in this game. And on Weghorst, again, really good. He didn't get the goal, so casuals will say he didn't play well. I thought he had a really good performance in this game. United in general were really good. Like I said, 60-65 minutes, totally in control. They lost it a bit towards the end, but I think they were kind of had their eyes elsewhere. Will Ten Hag be happy with that? Potentially not, but it was job done by that time. And yeah, United are through in the FA Cup. Deserved, really. Not really too much else to say, so let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Were you surprised by how strong Erik Ten Hag went with the lineup? Personally, I wasn't. This is how I would do it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Was Casemiro the best player on the pitch? Was Antony the best player on the pitch? What did you think of Reading's approach, the Andy Carroll tackle? All of that stuff, let me know that in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. And as always, I will see you in the next one.